In this explainer, we're going to totally master one of the most essential tools in English, the past simple tense. So let's jump right in. So here's our game plan. First, we'll cover what the past simple even is. Then, we'll get into understanding verb forms, how to build sentences with them, and how to dodge those common mistakes. After that, we'll practice together. And finally, we'll talk about why this tense really matters. Okay, first up, let's get a really clear picture of what the past simple tense is all about. We've all been there, right? You're trying to tell a great story about something that happened, and you just pause. You're not sure if you're saying it right. Well, that little moment of doubt, that's exactly what the past simple tense is here to fix. Here's the key idea, and it's pretty simple. We use the past simple for actions that are 100% finished, done, over. If you did it yesterday, last year, or even 5 minutes ago, and the action is complete, this is the tense for you. Now, before we can start building amazing sentences, we need to understand their most basic parts, the building blocks. And I'm talking about verb forms. You see, every verb has different forms. Let's look at this chart. V1 is the base form. That's the one you'd find in a dictionary, like go. V2 is the past form, and that is the star of our show today. It's went. Now, you'll see V3 and V4 there, but don't worry about them for now. Our whole focus today is just on V1 and V2. So, verbs change into their V2 form in two main ways. Regular verbs are the easy ones. You just add ed to the end. So play becomes played. Simple. But then you have the irregular verbs. Yeah, these guys are the tricky ones. They don't follow that rule. They change in their own unique way, like go becomes went. There's no secret trick for these. You just have to learn them. All right, so we've got our building blocks. Now let's start putting them together to make some actual sentences. Positive ones, negative ones, and of course, questions. When we make sentences in the past simple, there are really just three main patterns you need to know: making a positive statement, a negative one, and of course, asking a question. Let's go through them one by one. For a positive sentence, the formula is super easy. It's just subject plus the V2 form of the verb plus the object. Think of it like snapping Legos together. Click, click, click. And you've got a perfect sentence. So for a positive sentence, what we call an affirmative sentence, the formula is super simple. It's just the subject plus the V2, that past form of the verb we just talked about. So you take a subject like she and add the past form visited, and you get a perfect sentence. She visited her cousin. That's it. Now, when we want to make a sentence negative, things change a little. We need a helper word, did not, which we usually shorten to didn't. But pay close attention to what happens next. The main verb, it goes back to its original form, the V1. So you say, I did not understand, not I did not understood. This is a really important detail. And guess what? The exact same thing happens with questions. We start the question with did, then we have our subject, and once again, the main verb goes right back to its original base form. So we ask, did you finish, not did you finished? See the pattern? Okay, so if you remember just one thing from our whole chat today, let it be this. This is the golden rule. The moment you use did or didn't, the main verb always goes back to its normal base form, the V1. Getting this right will save you from making the most common mistakes, I promise. You'll often see the past simple hanging out with certain time words. Think of these as little clues in a sentence. Words like yesterday, last week, or in 2021 all point to a finished time in the past, and that's your signal to use this tense. All right, now let's do some error spotting. Knowing what not to do is just as important as knowing what to do, and this is going to make your English so much more accurate. Okay, here's a classic mistake. I see this all the time. Since the sentence has didn't, our golden rule kicks in. The verb has to be in its base V1 form. So it's not didn't went, it's didn't go. See how that rule just works every single time? And here's the exact same idea, but this time in a question. Because we start the question with did, the verb has to be complete, not completed. Once this clicks, it's like a superpower. You'll start to see this mistake everywhere, and you'll know exactly how to fix it. Okay, enough talk. Theory is great, but practice is where the real learning happens. So it's your turn to apply everything we've covered. Take a look at these 3 sentences. Your mission is to change them into the past simple. Go ahead and pause this explainer, write down your answers, And just press play when you're ready to check them. All right, how did you do? Let's see. The first and third verbs are regular, so we just add ed. The second one, right, is one of those irregulars, and its past form is wrote. If you got those right, fantastic job. All right, let's see what you've learned. Time for a super quick quiz. Here's the sentence. Yesterday, we blank a test. Should it be A, right, or B, wrote? Think about what kind of sentence it is. And the correct answer is B, wrote. Fantastic. This is just a simple positive statement. There's no did or didn't to worry about, so we just use the simple past form, V2. You got it. Okay, one more for you. Did he blank the message? Should it be A, received, or B, receive? Look for that special signal word in the sentence. Yes, the answer is B, receive. And why? Because that signal word did is right at the start of the question. And we know that as soon as we see did, the verb has to be in its original V1 base form. See? It's like a secret code. You're doing great. So we've learned the rules, we've done some practice, but why does this all matter so much? Let's talk about the real-world power of the past simple tense. Honestly, mastering this tense is a total game changer. It lets you tell stories, share your experiences, talk about your personal history, and yeah, it helps you get correct answers on exams. But most importantly, it lets you speak with confidence. It's the key to talking about anything that's ever happened. And that's our deep dive into the past simple. In our next explainer, we'll explore its partner, the past continuous tense. If you found this lesson helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to Neslingua for more. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.